basically what I saw in that cell was one incredible thing I've never seen before. Saw a man made of light, you know, his complexion.
From the age, let me just stop you there.
Yeah.
From the age of 6, he went to a boarding school.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to The Balcony. My name is Jula, and today I have a special guest here who goes by the name of
Vincent.
Vincent Happy mnisi. Yeah, welcome.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing today?
Well,
You're doing well?
after yesterday, it was,
Yeah. Okay, so I just wanted for you to kind of give us a little bit of a background story. I found his story really interesting. So he's basically an author, just a little introduction. Yeah, he's an author. He's written
9 books at the moment.
9 books. So it's still going?
Yeah, it's still going, and I'm busy doing my autobiography at the moment. So I'm still putting that together. That's writing down my first 51 years on Earth. Yeah, so just trying to get that organized.
Yeah. Amazing.
Hopefully finish it by December.
Yeah. Amazing. So I just needed to kind of hear your story.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
as I say, I'm busy writing it up right now, so in a way, it's a good recap for me, just to maybe give you a subnosis, a brief subnosis of how and what I'm going to be writing in my autobiography.
Okay.
Okay, great. Well, I was born on the 29th of March, 1970, on Easter Sunday. I was born at 6 o'clock in the morning in Soweto, Johannesburg, South Africa. And
You're from South Africa?
Yeah, from South Africa. And it was Easter Sunday. My mum called me Happy because everybody was saying Happy Easter.
Okay.
So she likes it.
That's interesting.
Happy. So,
yeah.
So that's how I got my second name, Happy. So my grandfather called me Vincent, and my mom called me Happy, and my dad called me Proud. So Vincent. So my names are Vincent, Happy, Proud, mnisi. Yeah.
What's mnisi mean? Proud.
Mnisi means, it's my surname, which means rainmaker, which means, so we basically are the people that supply the rain, and people in Africa used to use us as a medium to get rain, so that they can feed the crops. So we were like the prayer of the rain.
Okay.
And we actually are originally from a royal family called the mnisis. We still got our heritage established in South Africa. They've actually got a kingdom which was re-established after some time. Yeah. So
we learned that in history back in the days when I was in Africa. When I was in Kenya.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, we did a bit of history about different countries, South Africa, Zimbabwe, all of them.
Oh, I see.
I don't know much, but I would like to learn though. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah. Well, as I say, I'm originally from a royal family called the mnisis. We've still got a kingdom in South Africa. We were originally from Swaziland, and then the Dlaminis came over, took over our kingdom, and then, but basically, we were re-established in 1989 or something again in South Africa. Let's go back to my birth. I was born 70 at the age of 6. Going to school. I was 6 years old, 1976. That's when the Soweto student uprising happened, which is a very popular 1976 student uprising of Soweto. I was 6 years old and I was shot at by the Boers. I was 6 years old and I didn't know anything. All I just saw was students running from the class and everything. So I just joined them.
Right.
And we were shot at by police, by the Boer police, and it was
young kids, children, babies.
Yeah, totally. But as when I got home, my dad was there, and then the next day, my mom bought the tickets for us, me and my younger brothers, and took us to Zimbabwe, where I carried on my education. From the age of 6, I was in boarding school. Went to
from the age, let me just stop you there. From the age of 6, he went to a boarding school. Okay.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, it's just,
It's one of those things. My moms were like the nuns, and my dad was the pastors. Well, not really those are the only people I know, all European. So basically, I used to look up to them, and And the thing is about it, I was 6 years old, and I got disillusioned by the whole thing of seeing Jesus white, the angels white. So basically, I looked up to European culture.
Makes sense.
So from the age of 6 up to 9 years old, I was there, and then my mom flew me to South Africa for a holiday. I think before the age of 9, I think I was 7 years old, between 6 and 7. She flew me to Johannesburg for a holiday. First time on an aeroplane, imagine, on your own. And I was like...
6 years old, on a plane?
Yeah, on a plane.
It's nothing.
It's nothing. Nothing. I was just going for a holiday, going to see them.
Yeah.
And it was like, I was so scared.
I can imagine.
I was calmed down by the beautiful air hostess that just calmed me down, and she was like, held my hand.
She helped you out.
Yeah, she helped me out. And I was so happy to see my family waiting at the airport. Hey, happy!
Yeah.
So enthusiastic. It was incredible. I enjoyed that. And,
amazing.
On our trip back, which is another thing I missed out. On our trip back, we took the train, which is a weird thing that happened. My mom took my younger brothers, because I had twin brothers that followed me.
You have a twin?
Yeah,
okay.
And no, I hadn't have a twin. My younger brothers were twins.
Twins, okay.
So one of them had a health problem. He had epileptic fits, and he was born, he had some deformities. And so when they were taking me back to school, what happened was one of the immigration officers stopped us because of my brother's medical condition. Says he needs to have some certificate to say he's allowed to go across the border. So my mom went to get off the train. So we got off the train, and the guy said, okay, I can give you accommodation. The immigration officer says, I can give you accommodation, and you can do that in the morning.
How nice.
So it was nice. Well, eventually we slept on his floor, and the next day we did my brother's thing, and then that was the first time I realized that Europeans were similar to us, because I noticed that they had, the acne, the skin acne on the heels. They got, the skin crack, the cracking of the skin. I was like, and I asked
when
my
it
mom,
dries and kind of
up here. So I asked my mom, I was like, Mom, do white people also have this? She says, yeah, white people are human. So I was like, oh, wow.
We all go through them. It's life.
It was life. And then what happened was, the most incredible thing that happened that day was, and I still remember it to this day, and when I speak to my mom about it, she still reminds me that kind of happened. We were, as I say, that the last night we were stopped by this immigration officer, and we had to stay at his house. And then the next day, the train that we were meant to have got on was delayed. And delayed for about 4 hours, 5 hours. And then we were told that it was due to that the last train was bazookaed and something had happened, it was derailed, so they had to put it back onto the rails, or all the kind of thing. So, and then as the journey was taking place, going back, we were going, because it was during the guerrilla warfare. Yeah. It was, when it was during the intensive, when the Africans were fighting for their position. And when we passed the compartment that had fallen, I mean that coach that had fallen, I realized that the compartment that was bazooka the night before was the same compartment that we were in.
Wow.
And I was like, Mom, we're in that compartment.
Yeah.
So basically it was like we were saved by the immigration officer at night, just because of my brother's ailment. Yeah. It was like, wow. Yeah. It was like, wow, God is really like looking after me. Yeah, that was incredible. And then we got to she left me at this Sacred Heart, St. Catherine's boarding school. I was there from 77, 78, 79. I went ahead, in 79, I went ahead, my mom, to go and live with the deputy president of the then, deputy prime minister of the then Zimbabwe, Rhodesia. His name was Dr. Mdawarara, and his wife was an auntie of of my mom. So basically, she was like a granny to me. So I went ahead of my mom to go and live with them before she came over herself to start living in Harare in 1980. So I was there I lived with them for 6 months, doing nothing, just chilling with them. They were living.
The vice.
Yeah, the vice president. Yeah,
Chilling, relaxing, having a good time.
Yeah, it was nice. A 5-bedroom house, beautiful swimming pool. It was nice, and security guards all over.
How old were you then?
I was 9 years old.
Oh, amazing.
So, security guards all over.
The best times.
Even the prime minister used to come and visit him. So
yes.
And I realized he was a short man. He'd sit on the sofa.
Yeah.
And his feet would be dangling.
Is it?
Yeah. His name was Abel Mzorewa then. Yeah. He was the prime minister of Zimbabwe Rhodesia. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, then in 1980, Bob Marley comes into town. It was during the elections, because then they had the elections where Robert Mugabe and Joshua Nkomo. That's when the year I met Joshua Nkomo, who was the opposition political leader to the president, who became president, Robert Mugabe. So Joshua Nkomo was more closer to my tribal links. My mom and them. He knew my grandfathers and all that kind of thing. So when I first met him, I met him at the age of 10. I think I actually met him at the age of 10, and then I met him again at the age of 15. I hadn't realized that I met him at the age of 10.
Okay.
So when I met him at the age of 10, and he was one heck of a leader.
Yeah.
And, he actually started the liberation movement, Joshua Nkomo, and then Robert Mugabe joined in, and then he became president, and they ended up fighting for presidency. 81, as I say, Bob Marley came into town, and I danced on Bob Marley's stage. If you Google Exodus, that's Bob Marley. And
Exodus.
then the Exodus, that's a kid. There's a kid in the brown.
That's
dancing,
you?
Yeah, that's me. That's me dancing crazy.
Google him, guys.
Definitely, yeah, that was crazy. I was 1980. I was. It was for me, when I actually saw myself at the age of 30, I hadn't forgotten about this incident, and I saw the video, and I'm like,
that's me?
That looks like me. So I had to go and ask my mom, and I said, Mom, what happened? And she's like, oh yeah, there were kids. She said, oh. I was like, what? Okay. So I was like, serious, because the way the kid was dancing, it was exactly how I still dance. So I was like, that's like, kind of my moves, you know what I mean? I still do those kind of moves.
Yeah.
So it was one crazy part of it. But anyway, my mom clarified that and told me that it was me. 1980, I was in a school called David Livingstone. Yeah, it was a day school. And then 81, my mom took me to another boarding school, Godfrey Hagens, which was a town away.
Did you want to go to the boarding school? Because now you're having an amazing life. Just,
I know. But
did you want to, or you were just
no,
like,
I didn't. No, I was a naughty child. So my mom, my mom was very demanding.
Yes.
You see, so my mom actually wanted her own.
Follow what mama says.
Yeah, and she my mom was single as well. So so basically, she, having a kid like me, when she was dating, I was very rude to all her boyfriends. So basically, so I was.
You're protective.
I was very protective over my mom. I didn't want anybody touching her. So it was crazy. But anyway. I enjoyed boarding school because then I got into a lot of sports.
Yes.
Yeah, I got into understanding a lot of sports, and I became an all-round sportsman, which is a great thing.
Which sport did you?
When I was in Godfrey Hagens, I did all the sports. I did from cricket to rugby to soccer to
you just had the energy to do all of it.
Tennis to basketball, everything. I did everything.
Amazing.
Did all the sports. I was an all-rounder. Even when I went to high school, I went to Godfrey Hagens then from 1981 all the way to 85. Then I went to high school called Alan Wilson I was 15 years old, where I became a gymnast coach. I actually started doing gymnastics from there, and then cricket. I was into hockey.
Amazing.
I was into tennis, a lot of tennis. I actually played against the Zimbabwean #1. I beat him, and then he beat me again. so it was in and out. Me and him were we used to compete quite a lot. His name was Baron Black. He's well known. He used to play in
Is this like a professional,
yeah,
like
he used to play in
national?
Wimbledon. He played at Wimbledon. I beat him once, so then he beat me about 2-3 times. But I beat him once. So his name is Baron Black, and he used to be at St. George's. I used to be at Alan Wilson. And,
okay.
Yeah, we used to play against each other.
Sure.
Then in 88?
Yes.
My mom moved me to a school called Churchill Boys High.
Okay.
Because to look after my younger brother, because my brother was going to high school, and she just thought the bullying, because I kept complaining about my high school, because you know,
being bullied.
Yeah, I was being bullied. Well, every kid was bullied.
Unfortunately,
they were not picking on anyone, so everybody was being bullied. So
we used to have that even in my school in Kenya.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Especially if you're like on the lower grade.
Oh yeah, that's the whole
the
point.
big bosses.
They become.
They take
really
the advantage.
Yeah. So it was 85. I went to Alan Wilson, and then eventually 88 I went to Churchill Boys High. Churchill Boys High was a good school.
Is that high school?
Yeah, it was a high school. I went to boarding school then in there, and I developed a war cry for them. We went to one thing beforehand. I met a friend of mine from South Africa, and he told me about an opportunity for me to get sponsored by an organization called World University Service, which was WUS Canada, and they were based in.
Oh, I know about them.
Yeah.
They're in Kenya too.
Yeah, Kenya too. Yeah.
I know a few people who went to Canada, university.
That.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Great.
From my school.
From your school. Okay, great. Well, World University of Canada used to sponsor me from They sponsored me from 86 actually, all the way up to 1991. So they were paying me $1,000 and paying for my school fees. It was quite handy. I mean,
you were getting education. You were also getting paid.
Getting paid every month.
What more would you like?
What more would I like?
That's
yeah, so I was
incredible.
And I organized that for both all my kids and my brothers. Yeah, so my mom didn't have to worry about school fees and all those kind of things. So money was our own.
You're a good big brother.
Yeah, well, I tried.
It's amazing.
Yeah, good. That's when I was 17 years old, so I organized that, which was quite good. Well, through a friend.
Yes.
Yeah, through a friend called Tembandaba.
Okay.
He's now a celebrity in South Africa.
What does he do?
He's an actor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's an actor.
Okay. That's great.
Right, so 89 now.
So you left high school?
We left high school.
Went to university?
Yeah, I was expelled from the hostel because they changed the diet. It was weird. What happened was one weekend, we had gone out, and then all of a sudden we come back, and then we find that the diet has changed from on a Sunday night. Instead of having a roast chicken, a chicken and
you guys
potatoes.
had chicken.
Yeah,
that's amazing. I never had chicken in my school.
Yeah, but how's that one? Instead of that, we got given beans on toast.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, what?
Who's eating that?
Who's eating that? And basically, I made everybody riot against it, and everybody walked out.
Strike.
Yeah, it was striked against it. So I was then expelled. They told me I was too influential.
Yeah.
Because I made even the prefects.
Yeah.
They had everybody walked out. Yeah, so they were like too influential, and I got 6 of the best.
Yeah.
Whacking 6 of the best, and then eventually I got expelled from the hostel.
Yeah.
But I had to come back and sit my exam. So I got myself into a private hostel, and which was serving lunch, breakfast, and supper. So I was as good as in the hostel anyway. I was there until 1990.
Yes.
I left the school. I finished my O levels.
Yes.
Passed them. Then I went into a college called Kosa College, where I did my London Chambers of Commerce diploma, which is LCCAI, in Zimbabwe.
Okay.
At Kosa College.
Okay.
1991.
Okay. What did you major in?
It was in sales marketing, and public relations.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 3 subjects. did those 3, and then that was 8. Yeah, so
So you did marketing.
marketing.
How did you get into writing?
Well, that is.
It's quite a shift.
It's quite a shift, really. Yeah, it becomes another thing about it. I've always read a lot. I read a lot of books. I must say, then when I was growing, I used to read a lot of fiction.
Okay.
A lot. I used to read a lot of, especially thrillers.
Yes.
A lot of what you call adventure stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, I used to read quite a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Erotic stuff as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
So I was adventured. I used to read everything, in and out of everything. So
Okay.
and it was then I started what we call night clubbing. I enjoyed myself, and it was I used to dance quite a lot. That's why
Okay.
I knew I could dance, which is great because then I used to dance in the nightclubs and
Yeah.
people would watch and look at me and say, oh. So
Okay.
I still do it at the moment.
It's a talent.
It's a talent, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, you gotta feel the beat.
Yes.
Yeah, true. So, 1991, I threw a birthday party. I was 21 years old, and it lasted for 3 days, 3 days and 3 nights, and it rained. A lot of people were still dancing in the middle of the rain. It was crazy. It was weird. For 3 days, 3 nights, it was mental. People didn't want to go home. Yeah, it was. 1991, same year, we repatriated back to South Africa. The ANC organized us to go back to South Africa, and then they helped get me back into school. They paid for my education to go further, and they sponsored me to study advertising in a school called the AAA School of Advertising, which is the AAA standing for the Association of Advertising Agencies.
Okay.
Yeah, School of Advertising. So it was owned by the Association of Advertising Agencies. So I was there from 1992 to 1994. I was there for 4 years. No, 2 years. What did I say? 4 years. 2 years. So basically, I was there. I started in Johannesburg, and then I moved to Cape Town because of I found out that then the ANC wasn't able to pay for my accommodation fees if I was learning in a town where I lived in, like where my parents lived in there, so they couldn't pay for my accommodation. So I moved to the Cape Town campus so that I could get the living stipends and all those kind of things, so I can
maintenance.
Maintenance, yeah. So allowance, which is quite nice. So I moved to Cape Town, lived in Cape Town, where I met my first, my wife, my girlfriend, not my first girlfriend, but the mother of my child.
Okay.
Yeah, and
how many children do you have?
I've got one child.
One child.
Lindy Way.
Okay.
Yeah, I waited for that that's what her name means. I waited for. Lindy Way.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and I gave her the second name is Piwe, which means gift, which is my brother's, the one who passed away. Yeah, yeah. Okay. We're back at what year were you now?
So we're talking about how you actually got to writing. So you said.
Well.
Yeah.
Well, as I say, in 1990. Okay, in 1999.
Yes.
Okay, I moved back to Johannesburg.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. But after an incident that happened in Grahamstown, that was an incredible thing that had happened in Grahamstown. Me and my brother went to Grahamstown we went to a festival. Right?
Okay.
We were going to spend a week there at the Grahamstown Festival.
Yeah.
It turned out to last me 3-4 weeks, but we had an incident that happened. I got there, I had long dreadlocks all the way up to here, and I used to smoke weed every day. still do. And what happened was I started seeing the evilness of the gathering. I could sense the presence of some kind of weird feeling that I couldn't put my finger on. Right? And I think the second night, or the second or third night, I'm walking from my friend's house because we had all dawned on to Grahamstown, and we all rented different places. So I was living with some other family, and he was with some other places. So I went to go and see him. So when on my way back, some police guys stopped me, arrested me, and then they put me in a cell. And basically, what I saw in that cell was one incredible thing I've never seen before. Saw a man made of light. You know his complexion, light. His long white beard, long white hair. And he didn't say anything to me. All he did was he did that, reached out to me.
Face to face?
Yeah, I could see him on the wall. In the wall, I could see him just in the wall, like, but sitting like on a throne, like sitting on a, and he didn't say anything to me. All he did just reached out, and then all of a sudden I just went like berserk. I don't know what happened.
He touched you, or just?
No, he didn't touch me. He just like reached out. Then I went berserk in the cell, and they took me to some mental institution. And then my mom came there. My brother actually, since I'd gone there with my brother called and said, "Hey, Vincent has been arrested and all those kind of things. He's now been taken to a mental institution."
Did they tell you why they arrested you?
No, that was the thing about it. They couldn't give me any. So my mom got there, and the first thing she told me was, don't take any of the medication and stop eating their food. And she told them that she was going to start bringing food for me. And she said, just watch, look at him.
Careful.
Within a week, you regain himself. And within a week, I actually regained myself. And the doctors were like shocked. You're serious? This is the same guy. And
so they thought you were actually
gone insane or something. So after that, my mom took me back to Cape Town. Yes. She got. I was released in a care because they were like, "Oh, we thought that he was really lost it."
Sorry to take you back.
Yeah.
The doctors don't do an assessments, mental health, because they usually have in the UK, as I know, they have mental health team. They would first do an initial assessment,
true,
and then they kind of go to the psychiatrist, and the doctors will give you support.
True.
They don't do assessment. They just put you in.
It was weird because they institutionalized me in a white environment. There was a lot of white people in there, and it was not even in a black country. I was okay. All of a sudden, not even in any. They did was they assessed me. Yeah. Don't know what and then they just started feeding me pills.
Yeah.
So it was crazy. My mom just got there and she said, "Stop taking the pills."
Yeah.
Don't
they monitor you when you take the medication?
Well, my mom told them to stop giving me any medication. So, she said if they give you anything, just pretend like you're taking it and then throw it away. So that's what I was doing. Eventually, I gathered myself back, and she took me back to Cape Town to my ex, Claudia. Who welcomed me back, and then from then onwards, I